This is my first time making this water ripple effect without a mold. I'll show you how. Make sure you stay to the end because I'll give you tips on things you could do to make this process even better and easier. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is a full tutorial, so feel free to skip the parts you don't want to watch. So as you can see, I've already taped up this jewelry case and I'm going to add some seashells and sand on the top, and on the underside, I'm going to put the water ripple effect. I'm going to put it at the bottom, so when the sun shines through the top, it's gonna make the water ripple effect, I guess, and shading or whatever you want to call it, that you get when the sun hits through water. I only need a little bit of resin, so I'm going to go ahead and make a total of 30 grams of resin. At this time, I only need to cover the lid, so make sure that you're using a thick viscosity resin. I'm using a 1-to-1 part resin. This has a work time of about 25 minutes during the summer and about 40 minutes during the winter. And you can see here what I'm using, what colors I'm using. I'm using the Resin 8 light blue and the dark blue, both transparent pigment pastes. And I ended up not using the Supreme White, so just disregard that. So I added the transparent pigments to the resin. I made half and half, like 15 grams of it dark and the light blue. And I let it sit until it got this consistency. I let it sit for about 30 minutes, but it's really cold right now. So depending on the resin that you're using and the temperature in your room, you may have to adjust the time. Just make sure it gets to this consistency, which is like a super duper thick honey. Okay, so I'm going to spread this out all over the underside of this glass, and I'm adding another layer here because I wasn't really happy with how thin it was. I felt like if I made the waves, it wouldn't really show that much. So I'm putting another layer here, another 30 grams, that is. I really wanted a contrast between the shallow waves and the deep waves. Yeah, you can see here how thick this resin is. It's like super thick. Okay. And you see how gooey that is. Oh my goodness. And you have to be careful because you're trying to spread it only on the glass portion and you don't want to get it on the metal sides. Okay. I waited for it to settle actually and get a little hard, almost like a soft gummy candy consistency, because I want to actually make these indentations with this silicone popsicle stick that I have, and I don't want it to move because if it's too soft, then you're gonna make these indentations and it's gonna move and it's gonna try to settle. Yeah, I'm making the indentations now. It's still pliable enough for me to do that. And I'm sort of like pushing and pulling and I don't know, making it as random as possible so I could get that water ripple look. So if your stick gets sticky, use some alcohol. I'm using 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. If you don't have a actual silicone stick, you can use anything. Actually, you could even use your glove. Just spray a lot of alcohol so it won't stick to whatever that you're using. Push, pull, scoop, whatever you need to do. As you can see, making random indentations in this pliable resin. Don't get it too close to the edge we need to close the lid. This is the lid, the underside, and if it's too close, then it won't close. The lid won't close all the way. So always make sure about stuff like that when you are doing this project. Check and see if, how close to the edge you can make this, okay? Because you need it to close. If it comes up like this and it's really sticky, make sure you just pat it down, because you don't want any parts that are rigid, because after it hardens, it's going to be like glass. So you want the waves to be soft. Put more alcohol on it and pat it down, to make it nice and smooth, okay? So let's see. I'm moving and pushing from different directions to make this wavy design. And so I think you get my drift. So let's go ahead and speed this up, shall we? Here's my first tip. Actually, I was thinking you can use that silicone mold making putty stuff around the edges, so you won't have to worry about it like spilling over the sides or getting too close to the edges. So if you have some of that stuff, I think it'll really help you. Here's what it looks like. The ripples are really deep and it looks like really rough beach water. If it's still pliable, then it may still settle. So you just have to keep going in there and fixing the waves again, because they may start to settle down if the resin has not hardened all the way. Okay, so hello, it's been a few days and everything has cured, and today I'm going to do the top, but I want to show you what it looks like. There are a lot of bubbles, of course, because the resin was so thick when I poured it. And I'm thinking that if you use the tip that I gave you a moment ago, you won't have so many problems with bubbles if you want it to be very clear, because you can let it just sit in there and let it harden, and at the last minute you can make the ripple effects. So and actually these ripples that I made, they're quite deep. They're very I don't know what to call it. Very deep. Okay, so of course you can skip this part. You don't need to do this. You can keep it just as is if you like, and you don't need to put stuff on top of this jewelry box if you don't want to. But I'm going to go ahead and put some shells and sand and let's see, some coral pieces and some starfish, maybe a stone or two. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so here's a second tip that I have for you, which is to sand the glass before pouring the resin. That includes the other side as well, because I was thinking maybe it'll help the resin to adhere better to the glass. I'm unsure of if there'll be any kind of slippage later. Just in case, you may want to go ahead and sand it, okay? That's tip number 2, okay? And even if you sand it, it looks rough. Don't worry, once you put the resin on top, you're not gonna be able to see those sand marks, those scratches, okay? So I finished spreading the resin from edge to edge, top to bottom on the lid, and I've sprinkled the beach sand all over. I found some shells that I'm happy with, so I'm gonna add on those. I just wanted to do it to add a little bit more judge to it. I finished the lid. What do you guys think? Do you like it? I think it came out beautiful. And you can do this to any kind of glass jewelry case or whatever you have. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. And I have one last tip, is to put the resin on the shells and the starfish, etc., to protect them, okay? If you guys have any questions or suggestions for my next video, please put them down in the comments below. I'll try my best to reply to everyone. And I will have a new video every week, so please like and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you.